Hello everyone. So here we are with our next topic in container series for the automated deployment of container images on ECS. And this can be implemented via CI/CD. So let's understand CI/CD first. So what is CI/CD? CI/CD stands for continuous integration and then continuous delivery or deployment. So let's start with continuous integration. The way it works, the developer push the code to a code repository often. It could be anything like GitHub, code commit, Bitbucket, etc. As soon as the code is pushed, there will be a testing or build server to perform the checks on the code. This ensures that the code can be built and can be tested correctly. But why do we do this? Because the developer gets feedback about the test and checks to see if they have passed or failed. It helps them improve the code quality. They can find bugs early and can fix them early as well. This way, we can also deliver code faster because it is tested continuously and can be deployed often. Now, let's look at the continuous delivery. We want to make sure that whenever the software is built, it can be released reliably whenever we need it. And we want to make sure that the deployment happen often and are quick. And it should enable us to do multiple releases in a day. And that you can only do if you have something called continuous delivery, which means that deployment will be fully automated. So this is what a continuous delivery pipeline looks like. We have our developers who push code often, and then the build server will get the code, build it and test it, and then deployment server will get the build and will deploy a successful build to the application server so they can upgrade an application from V1 to V2. So this is the idea behind continuous delivery. As I mentioned earlier, CD refers to continuous delivery or continuous deployment. So let's compare the differences between these two. Continuous delivery means that you can deploy often using automation, but it may involve a manual step. For example, if you need to approve a deployment, usually just before production deployment, you may need to get it approved from your project manager. So you would use a manual step while setting up the continuous delivery. Even though there is a manual step in here, the deployment itself is still automated and can be repeated. So continuous delivery has a lot of advantages. Continuous deployment, on the other hand, is entirely automated, which means that every code change you will do in your source repository will be deployed all the way to the production. That means there is no manual intervention of approvals. So this is something that can be implemented with a lot of monitoring, and then if there is a bug, then you will just push a new code fix into your repository and then makes it all the way through the end of the pipeline. Now, let's check how the CI/CD stack looks in AWS. These are the steps we can do in CI/CD. We can have a source repo where we can stage our code. For source code, we will use code commit, or we can also use GitHub or any third-party repository. Then for building and testing, we could use code build, or we can also use a third-party plugin like Jenkins. Now, for deploying the application, we will use code deploy. Code deploy does not provision any infrastructure for us. So for provisioning, we can use CloudFormation or Elastic Beanstalk. And finally, to orchestrate everything, we would use AWS Code Pipeline. And it's very interesting to use Code Pipeline to automate the build, test, and deploy phases of the release process every time there is a code change. Now let's look at the key features of these services. So AWS Code Commit is a private Git repository. There is no size limit on these repositories, so you can scale seamlessly. It is fully managed and highly available service from AWS. And since code is in your private account, so you have got increased security and compliance. It can also integrated with Jenkins Code Build and other tools. AWS Code Build is a fully managed continuous integration service that compiles source code, runs tests, and produces software packages that are ready to deploy. It is serverless, so you don't need to provision or manage any servers. Code build scaled continuously and processes multiple builds concurrently, so your builds are not left waiting in a queue. It leverages Docker containers under the hood. That means that every build is reproducible. and you will pay for the usage it takes to complete the builds. It also supports custom Docker images to extend capabilities for your custom applications. Finally, it is secure and integrated with IAM or build permissions. Establishing automated code deployment is the heart of CI/CD pipeline. So now, let's learn to leverage Code Deploy for automated deployments. With Code Deploy, we can automate deployment on Amazon EC2 servers, on-prem servers, serverless applications running on Lambda or ECS. A very cool feature of Code Deploy is that you have minimal downtime for your applications, and you can also set up blue-green deployment for EC2 instances. In case of any errors with the deployment, Code Deploy rolls back the entire deployment automatically to keep your running application stable. And you can also integrate Code Deploy with other third-party tools like Jenkins. Code Pipeline is a continuous delivery service for fast and reliable application updates. It enables us to visualize our software release process. It builds, tests, and deploys your code on every commit in the code commit repository. It can integrate with third-party tools. So now we have fair understanding on the key services to implement the pipeline. Now let's see this in action and witness that how interesting it is to work with Code Pipeline. Over to you, Sandeep.
Since we have now discussed all the CI/CD components that we can use with AWS, now let's think about how we can create a CI/CD pipeline. How can we utilize the code pipeline and then create our own CI/CD pipeline? So let's get started. To create a CI/CD pipeline, we'll be using AWS code pipeline. So if you open the AWS console, you have to search for AWS code pipeline, and we'll find it here. Just click on that. So code pipeline is a fully continuous integration and deployment workflow we can create here. So if you want to create a code pipeline, just come to this page and click on create pipeline. And after that, give the pipeline name. Let's say sample CI/CD. And here in the service role section, enter the service role. Now, if you're not sure about what service role to give, just simply go with the customs, the new service role. It will create the necessary access for your service. Then go down and come to this role name is automatically populated. Advanced settings. If you want that for this particular pipeline, you want to create the store artifact store. That means where all these artifacts getting stored. Generally is S3. So in S3, it creates a new bucket with this name. You can select this. But what problem happens if you go with for every time a default location, then it create every time a new S3 bucket, and that might you might hit your soft limit for S3 bucket. So in that case, you can go with your custom location, which will save you from that issue. Okay. Now encryption key. If you want to have your own custom managed keys, then you can select this option. But if you are okay, if you don't have any custom managed key, then you can go with your default AWS managed key. Now go to next. Now the source provider. Now this is very important. AWS code pipe work with another multiple services or components. What are those? For the source part, there is actual code that you want to make a build out of it, or maybe you want to deploy it. You have to select the source of that. So what are the options you have here? You have code commit, you have ECR, you have S3, the Bitbucket, GitHub version 1.2, and GitHub Enterprise. Since you are doing the stuff with AWS, so we will go with the AWS code commit. Now, AWS code commit is just like any other Git service like GitHub or Bitbucket, and it's work exactly the same way. We have one project in AWS code commit. Let's look at it. You go to AWS code commit. You can create a repository by clicking at create repository and then enter the details and push the code. For now, we have one example code deploy demo. We'll be using this one. It's a very simple application. You might see a simple notice application where you are running like CI/CD version 1. That's what you are running. If you come to this side and execute the root path, you will see CI/CD app version 1 text. Okay. Now let's come back in the pipeline. And since we have selected AWS code commit, select the repo, which is AWS code deploy. This one. Then in the branch name, I have master. So if you have any particular branch name, you can simply give your particular branch name here. Okay, no issues. Now change the direction option. Now change how the change can happen. One, that cloud, there is a CloudWatch event which is looking at for changes in the code commit. Now if any change happen, that event will trigger in the CloudWatch and it will start the entire pipeline flow. Now if you go for the code pipeline option, then it will the code pipeline will check for it instead of the CloudWatch. So it's recommended that you use the CloudWatch. Output build format. You have code pipeline default or full clone. If you want to like you can see it here. AWS code pipeline uses default zip format for artifact pipeline. Do not include the Git metadata. So if you want to include Git metadata, go for the full clone. If you don't want to include the Git metadata, go with the code pipeline default. Now go to next. Is a build provider. Now in the build provider, you have two options, that is AWS code build or and Jenkins. Now I have added two custom Jenkins, that's why it's showing it here. But you will only have, if you don't have any Jenkins previously, you will see two options. Okay, we'll go with the AWS code build and region. Make sure that you are your default region as, and then based on that you should select the region. Project name, we'll create a new project here. Okay, so click on create project and it will create a new window here. Project name, let's give it sample demo. And if you want to, you would like to restrict the concurrent build, like there's multiple people making changes at once, and it will of course create multiple builds. If you want only one latest build to be the same one at a time, you can restrict the number of concurrent builds here. You have the environment image. If you have any, suppose your application is custom requirement, if your application can be built using the managed image, go for that. If it needs some custom libraries or something else, go for the custom image. For our application, it's okay to go with the custom image, so we'll go for the Amazon Linux 2. Runtime, we'll use a standard one. Image should be the very latest one. Now, very important part is here, privileged or not. Now, why need the privilege? If you want to make Docker images, like for our case, if you see it here, build spec, here we are making Docker image. I'll be coming to build spec very soon, but understand that if you are going to make a Docker build, you need elevated privileges. So we are clicking on that. Service role, you can go with the custom like automatic new role creation. But if you have already any existing role which have the access to everything, you can select the existing role as well. Now additional configuration, you can go with the defaults. Now environment variables, you can give environment variables here. If it's a standalone code build project, I will suggest to give the environment variables here. But if you're managing this project via code pipeline, it's better to add this the environment variables via the code pipeline. I will show how. We'll not enter anything here. We'll enter the values in the code pipeline. Now build spec tell AWS code build what exactly need to be done. Like AWS code build don't know what need to be done with your code. You know it. So you have to give instruction to code build what exactly what kind of build need to be done, or whatever you need to do via the code build, you have to tell the instruction via build spec. So this is a sample build spec project. In the build spec, the most important part to understand is the version, which is the very basic 0.2 standard. Run as, which user you want to run the code build as. Phases. Now what are the phases? Phases are the build phases. So pre-build, where you're making ready your environment or Docker environment to make the build ready. Like here, we are going to make a Docker build. So we are first logging into ECR. We are getting the existing, if there is any existing Docker image, you're just pulling the image. We are doing all that here. And in the build phase, we are making the actual Docker build. And in the post build, that is when the build is over and success, we are pushing the Docker image to the AWS ECR. And we are saying to the, and we are passing this config to the into the ECS so that these changes can be deployed in a particular service. Okay, let's go on that. So now if your file name is buildspec.yml, you can just simply have this file. But if you don't have to provide anything here. But if it's a custom name, then you have to, like the custom name is buildspec cache.docker. That one you have to give the exact file name here. But since this buildspec.yml file here, so we don't have to put it here. Now CloudWatch, if you want to maintain the CloudWatch docs, you can simply click on this. Now click on, let's continue the pipeline, and we will now add the environment variables because those are very required ones. Okay, now we are all good here. Let's add the environment variables. So what are the environment variables needed here? AWS default region. Let's add it here. Let's add the environment variables first, and we'll add the values. AWS account ID and image repo name and then image tag, and then the container name. Okay, now we have entered the names of the environment variables. Now put the values. So AWS default region is the west. Now we'll put everything here. Account ID. Just click on your name here, and you can copy the account ID from here. Image repo name. Now we don't have an image now, so let's create a ECR repo because we have to push the image in the Docker repository, and in AWS the Docker repository you can do via AWS ECR. So look for container registry here, and let's create a ECR repo. Click on the create repository. So sample CI CD. Okay, we can go with the defaults, create the repository, and this is the sample CI CD. And if you click on this view push command, you will view the push commands here. And the repo name is, of course, sample CI CD. Just copy that here. And the image tag, we want the latest to be. If you don't give any build name of the default tag, also latest. But if you want to give any particular tag here, you can give it here. Container name. Now we don't have any container name because we are not running any ECS instance. So we will start a ECS instance. Let's do that. Let's come to here. And if we go to AWS ECS, Elastic Container Service, we'll create a cluster. We'll see how the deployment happens. So let's create. Okay, while creating the cluster, let me show you from the beginning. Click on the create cluster, then select the cluster template. You have networking only. If it's Fargate serverless container, if you are want to run a EC2 based instances based cluster, then select the EC2 Linux for networking. So here we'll be running EC2 Linux plus networking. Click on next step. Let's give cluster name CI CD sample demo cluster, and it's on demand, and instance type, let's say T2, T2, let's say medium. We want 2 instance, and root volume 30 is okay, 30 GB. Now make sure that you use the latest one, obviously, because the previous version is of the Linux 2 AMI, and Linux AMI is depreciated. It's a good practice to create a new VPC, but if you have any kind of requirement to making the existing VPC, you can select that one also. It's up to you. And you're all good to go. Enable container insights if you want to see the status and the stats of how the server running and all the resource utilization. Enable this one. Now click on create. While it's creating, let me just come to here. Now let's understand this application first, and then the Docker file, and then the build spec, what you're doing. So in the code, we have this simple application, Node.js application. It's simple explicit application. We are just simply running. If you suppose I'm running, so suppose let's just run the application of this sample application, and we'll see what happens. Let's go to the folder first, and if you simply run node then the index.js, see that it's showing CI/CD app version 1. That's all this sample app do. Now we have to containerize the application first, and then we can push into the ECR. So let's do that first. Then if you click on view push commands, you will see the commands, and you can simply follow the instruction to push the image in this repo. So click on that. Right, logging into ECR. Then we will make the build. Login success. Let's make the build. Let's tag the image with the remote repo URL. Now let's push the image in the Amazon ECR. What is happening? Let me explain you the build spec.yml file. Sorry, Docker file. Docker file is actually simple. It's simply calling the Node.js version. Now I've added my account because I don't want to face the limit rate limiting that's newly added by the Docker Hub. So I just push into my ECR. That's why. But you can simply use this Node version 14. We are setting the work directory as it says user salary app, and we are just copying the packages JSON and package log. Then we are installing all the dependencies. After the dependencies installation done, we are copying the code, and then we are exposing the port 3000, and we are running the Node.js applications that way. Okay. Now, if we come to the build spec.yml file, here in the preview phase, we are logging into ECR. Then in the we are storing the this full repo URL in the repository variable. We are pulling the variable with the tag that we are going to build. If there is any data already available, just pulling it. The build phase, we are showing the dates of this build. We are making the build from the cache so that it will take less time. Then you are tagging the image with the remote repo, just like I did in the local. We are similarly doing the same thing in the cloud, in the AWS code build. Now in the post build, we are pushing the Docker image to the Amazon ECR so that it will be available for the our ECR application, and then writing the config file. So which container need to be updated with which URI, that we are doing it here, and that's what we're doing. In the artifact, we have created this file image definition.json, and in the artifact we're just storing that file. Okay, we are just passing the file, and is a cache. If you want to store any cache, is up to you, but this is very important, this section where you are pulling the image so that we will have the local build ready, and then you are making the build and you are pushing the builds. These are very important. Okay, make sure you note these points. Now let's see how the progress is. Okay, the image is now pushed. Let's close this and do a refresh, and we have our image now. Okay, now if we come to the ECS, so our cluster is now created. Let's see, click on the view cluster. Okay, so no service and no task is running here. So let's run a task, not just a task. We will run task versa. Now what is task? Task is simple instead of a task definition, and the service is the which controls the minimum number of running task, as well as the input traffic as well. Now to create a simple service, we must create a task definition. So let's create a task definition. Let's call this EC2 because we have selected the EC2 best cluster. Now call it CI/CD demo definition. Okay. Now role, if you don't create, it will automatically create anyway. Network mode, let's create the bridge, the default bridge, that is this is available default in the Docker. Now task execution role, again you can go with the none if you don't need. I'm just going with this role. It will create automatically again. Task size. Now let's see what our source resource are. So if you click on the ECS instances, you will see we have total of around 4 CPUs and 8 GB of memory. Now we just, for this application, we simply need, let's say, around 300 should be enough, and CPU, let's say 500 should be enough, like half CPU. Now let's add the container. Let's call it let's call it sample container. Okay, let's copy the container name here in this code pipeline. Now let's run the service. In the image section, copy from ECR, copy URI, and paste it here. Just let's soft limit 300, and port mapping. We should go with the 0, so it will be dynamic port mapping, and in the container port, give it 3000. I think all are default okay, so we can just simply go with that. Let's make sure to just enable the logging because it will be helpful if any problem happens. We'll find out where the problem happening. Let's click on add, and we are all good to go. Let's create it. So we have our tax reference created. Let's come to ECS and click on services. Then click on create services. Okay, here one more step you need to configure before getting the traffic, but I will show while creating the service. So click on the create service. Now click on EC2 based launch instance. Click on the family. In the family, you will see it CI/CD definition. Now let's see demo application. Now cluster will be CI/CD sample. In the service name, we'll call it CI/CD service. Just for say any name you can give is up to you. Number of tasks, we want to run one task. Now the rolling update and plugin. If you want one by one update, then go for the rolling update. If you want one standby separate standby instance ready before doing the deployment, it's less downtime. Even in the rolling update, also downtime is less or no at all. But it's up to you based on what method you use. For this demo, we'll go with the rolling update. For this placement template, we'll go with we can go with any bin pack or is it well we'll go with the bin pack. So wherever there is least memory of the instance available, we'll select it. Okay. Now enable ECS. I think it's all good. Then go to the next step. Now here, in order to get the traffic from the internet, you need a load balancer. Now it's an application load balancer because it's an application after all, Node's application. If you use it's a network based application, not a web based application, then you can select the network load balancer. Now select that I am role. If you don't have any, it will just click on the create role. It will create the role for you. And let's try to add a new load balancer. So we have to go to AWS, then search for load balancer. So EC2, see here, not go to it is EC2, and then very left you will see load balancers. Let's create a load balancer called, let's call it CI/CD demo load balancer LB. Now make sure what is the VPC of this the cluster that you're running in, because otherwise you might see issues that you don't want to face. So let's find out that. For that we must go to ECS, go to cluster, and then this is the CI/CD sample cluster that you are running. Go to ECS instances. If you click on any ECS instance, that is, you will come to EC2. If you go to the network, you'll find the VPC here. So VPC ID is, just enter the last 4 digit 7F9D. Now come to here, the load balancer. You'll see 7F9D. Just to make sure that is that one only, you can just match it here. 7F9D and 7F9D. Okay, now select the ambiguity zones. Click on configure security credentials. Click on configure security groups. Let's create a new security group and allow all port 80 because we'll be accepting traffic from port 80. We can call it load balancer wizard1. Let's configure it here. And we'll call this CI/CD demo as you can call it target group TG. Don't select anything else. You don't need to do anything here. Just go with next register targets. In the targets, you don't have to select anything. It will be all automatic for ECS. Click on review. Let's create it. Just go to the load balancer. You need one more additional step. Copy this load balancer's security group ID, that you'll find it here, and make sure in the instances security group, click on security, and this is the security group. Allow any traffic or all traffic, all the TCP traffic from this load balancer. That is the rule you need to add. So custom all TCP from custom, then paste the security group here. Now if you don't create the security group under same VPC, you will not find the security group here, and that will be problem. That's why we need to keep in the same security, same VPC. Now save the rules, and we can come here in the ECS. Now refresh the load balancer, you will find the CI/CD demo LB. Now sample container, that the container name we've given. Add the load balancer, select the port 80 default. You can go with the default target group that you have created, and you can simply create the instance here. Now in the service auto scaling, if you want, like if you want to make it scalable, you can give like minimum 1, and desired, if you know that you have higher load traffic, then you can give as many as you want, and you can give how much traffic you can have based on that. There's two kind of option for the auto scaling, automatic task scaling policy you have. What is the target scaling? What is the step scaling? If you need complex scenarios, then you can go for the step scaling. If it's very simple one, like high CPU based on the CPU usage, you can add the one addition. And if it's a low CPU, it will remove the number of tasks running. Now target value should be, if it's more than 80, we create the automatic new task. Okay, click on next step, and you are good. Let's create the service. It will be one by one, create all the resources. You'll see it here. For this pipeline, let's skip the deployment stage, and I will show you how to add it later. You can add it here also. Like if you go click on the AWS ECS, and then search for the cluster name, and you can do it, or you can do it. Let's wait for this to deploy first. Let's say view service, and task is running. We can access the task via the load balancer itself. So let's go to the EC2. Let's see EC2. On the very left, there is load balancer. If you click on the load balancer, that CI/CD, that one, you will find the URL, DNS name. You try to run that URL in the browser. Okay, you can see it's running now. So our application is running perfectly. Now let's try to see in the pipeline. We have the cluster name, that is CI/CD sample, and in the service we have the CI/CD service. Image definition. Now if the file name is image definition, like exactly same thing, image definition.json, you don't need to actually give any custom name. But if it's not that name, if it's a custom name, you must give the custom name here. Since it's a default name, we will not enter anything, and we will click on the next step, and we can create the pipeline here. Now as soon as the pipeline get created, it will make the source, then it will run the build, that is automatically will make a Docker image, and it will push the image in the ECR. Now let's wait for that to happen. Now while working on this, you might see in the build with some issues. Let's see if we find any issues or not, and I will show you how to solve this one if you see this kind of issues. You can click on the details and see that how it's progressing. Click on the phase details. You see the provisioning done. Now it's downloading sources. Now you see in the download source itself there is a issue. Okay, so how to solve this? Suppose you are in the build phase. Just reload it. You will see the build is failed. In the details, click on the details. It failed. It will few seconds. It will update in the pipeline. So don't worry. Now, how to give the access required for the code build? Click on the build details. Then in the service role section, just click on that, and it will create a IAM role window role section for you where you can edit the role access and everything. Once you're here, click on attach policies. Give it S3 access. I'm adding for the demo, I'm adding full access, but for your case, you might give it custom access to particular bucket only, and we need the registry access. EC2 container registry, because we didn't add the registry access before in that particular code build, right? And it's going to push in the code build in the AWS CCR. If we don't have the access, we'll see error. So that's why we're adding these two access. Let's attach the policy, and that's it. Now again, come to the let's go to the code pipeline. See, it's failed. Now let's make a very quick change, and let's see if this code pipeline automatically updating or not. So let's make the change. Index version. Let's make it version 2, and let's try to update the Git. The version 2 changes. As soon as the code is getting pushed, you will see automatically this code pipeline will start. If you see that the code build is if not automatically starting the integration, you can simply release the change, and it will start it automatically again. Okay, you might see that since it's a failure was there previously, that's why it's not automatically starting. If you release this one this time, now the source is done. Now in the build section, you will see the progress. If you click on the details, in the build details, you'll see the phases. In the build logs, you'll see the how the process is happening. Okay, you see this time the download was success. Previously it was error because it didn't have the access. Now it have the access, and it's on the build pre-build phase. You see all it's already pulled the image from the repo and pull complete. Now we'll start making the build, and you'll see how this process is happening. Now pre-build success, the build is now progressing. Now you will see the build is also done. Now Docker image will get pushed to the ECR. You see it here. Okay, now build is completely success. Now if you come to the pipeline, you will see deployment in progress. If you click on the details, you will see the how this deployment happening. Behind the scenes, this deployment happening by the code deploy only. It's managed by ECS. That's it. Give it around you can see it's running count. So let's try to see if the version is updated or not. It will take some time. Then you will see its version, latest version will be done. Let's wait for that. And you will see this one is in progress. It will become completed, and that's it. You will have the new version running in the service. Oh, it's already done. So you can see here, just while you refresh the page, you will see the version 2 here. Now we come here. You have to wait actually till this from in progress to become completed. After that, it will always only serve the latest build, which is version 2. And in the code pipeline, it will become success. And that's it. Thank you for watching this tutorial.